Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopitana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopitana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe, Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Gaura Pimanande, Jaya Vishupad Paramahamsa, Pri Vratikacharya Stotra Satya Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Shirabai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Skandi Biti, Founder Charyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samavata Bhakta Vrinda ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jani Thai Gaura Pimanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurinmiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Sri Vishakandvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. He's hiding there. Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Om Sarabhyai Namaha. Mukam karoti vasanam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. Continuing, canto number 1, chapter 6. Yes. And the text number? Let's see. Which number? 10, huh? Tada. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Tada tad aham ishasya bhaktanam sham abhipsatah anugraham manyamanah pratistam disham utaram tada tadaham tada tad aham ishasya bhaktanam sham abhipsatah anugraham Manyamanah
Anugraham Manyamanah
Pratistam Disham Uttaram
Pratishtam Dishamuttaram
Tada Tadaham Ishasya
Tada Tada Mishasya
Bhaktanam Sham Abhipsataha
Bhaktanam Samabhipsataha
Anugraham Manyamanah
Anugraham Manyamanah
Pratistam Disham Uttaram
Pratishtam Dishamuttaram
Tada Tadaham Vishasya
Tada Tada Mishasya
Bhaktanam Sham Abhipsataha
Bhaktanam Samabhipsataha
Anugraham Manyamanah
Anugraham Manyamanah
Pratistam Disham Uttaram
Pratishtam Dishamuttaram Tada Tada Mishasya
Tada Tadaham Vishasya
Bhaktanam Samabhipsita
Bhaktanam Sham Abhipsataha
Anugraham Manyamanah
Anugraham Manyamanah
Pratishtim Dishamuttaram
Pratistam Dishamuttaram
Tada tad aham ishaya
Tada Tadaham Vishasya
bhaktanam sham abhipsata
Bhaktanam Sham Abhipsataha
anugraham manyamana
Anugraham Manyamanah
ratishtham dishamuttaram
Pratistam Dishamuttaram. Hey. Okay, you train them up for tomorrow morning, right? Tada!
Tada
At that time, tat,
Tat
that,
That
aham,
Aham
I,
I
ishasya,
Ishasya
of the Lord.
of the Lord
Isha, Isha means the Lord. Ishasya of the Lord. Manu means mankind. Manushya, of mankind. Yeah. Bhaktanam,
Bhaktanam
of the devotees.
of the devotees
Bhakta, Bhaktanam. Sham, not Sham. Sham. Mercy,
Mercy
Abhipsataha,
Vipsataha
desiring.
Desiring
Anugraham,
Anugraham
special benediction.
Special benediction
Manyamanaha,
Manyamanaha
thinking in that way. Pratistam,
Pratishtam
departed. Disham,
Disham
Disham Uttaram,
Dishamuttaram
in the northern direction. In India, if you want to go for self-realization, you go north, Himalayas. In the west, you go west. Go west, because in the west, both in the US and Canada, that's where the hippie movement. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees. And so thinking, I started for the north. Kindly repeat after me. I took this
I took this
as the special mercy of the Lord,
as a special mercy of the Lord,
who always desires benediction
who always desires benediction
for his devotees.
for his devotees.
And so thinking,
And so thinking,
I started for the north.
I started for the Lord.
So I took this as a special mercy, of course, refers to what happened in the previous verse. And what happened in the previous verse is that his poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent and passed away. So he was having nobody. Purport. Confidential devotees of the Lord see in every step a benedictory direction of the Lord. What is considered to be an old or difficult moment, what is considered to be an odd or difficult moment in the mundane sense is accepted as special mercy of the Lord. Mundane prosperity is a kind of material fever. And by the grace of the Lord, the temperature of this material fever is gradually diminished. And spiritual health is obtained step by step. Mundane people misunderstand it. Translation again. I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees. And so thinking, I started for the north. Yes. So there are many examples of Prabhupada, he would call such incidents that happen reverses. We're going in this direction, and all of a sudden, due to circumstances beyond our control, we're going maybe in the opposite direction or in a different direction. We have our mind set on something, and then circumstances are such, something completely different happens. Or we're in good health, then all of a sudden we go for a normal checkup at the doctor, and he tells us, you have cancer. So many things. Naturally, of this nature happen in this world, but here we are being advised, being instructed that actually all of these so-called reverses, whatever may happen, um, one who is actually more advanced, he will he will derive something positive out of that. For example, it was Vidura, isn't it? Vidura, such a learned and well-intentioned person serving in the court of Dhritarashtra, and always trying to give him, his brother, good advice. But we know how Duryodhana didn't like that advice at all. And it came to a culminating point where Duryodhana just started speaking very harsh words, um, which basically forced him to leave the palace. But he took it as a blessing, and he became, by his traveling to holy places, the great Vidura. He was already very learned. He became even more so. He spent, you know how many years he spent traveling in different holy places? Huh? What? 1 year? This is your speculation, isn't it?
And Krishna lived after Kurukshetra about 25 years. He came back after that, so it means
It's actually 30 years, because Krishna was, how old was Krishna when Battle of Kurukshetra? 95. I heard 95. And so after the Battle of Kurukshetra, or just before the Battle of Kurukshetra, that's when Vidura left. And as you rightly mentioned, he came back at the end, actually. At the end means close to,
Krishna's living.
yeah, Krishna. So that's 25, 30 years. because Krishna stays on the planet how long? Hmm. How many years did Lord Chaitanya perform his pastimes? Little quiz here. Huh? 24. He performed his grihastha pastimes for 24 years, and then he took sannyas. So just multiply another 24. 48. Lord Chaitanya, he performed his pastimes for 48 years, and Lord Krishna for 125. 125. So Vidura was traveling. This is the great benediction of Bharat. One can, in those days especially, and even not that long ago, there were dharmashalas everywhere. Practically wherever there's a holy place, sadhus could stay there without having to pay. They would be provided with nice prasadam, and they would be traveling by walking. Did not need any money to buy tickets and this and that. So this cannot be imitated, of course. Prabhupada actually makes reference to confidential devotees, means those who are advanced devotees, they see everything as Krishna's arrangement, even so-called calamities, which is the same mood and mentality, of course, of Queen Kunti, who even prays for calamities to happen. Most people go to the church or to the mosque or to the temple. Please remove all the calamities. So another nice point that Prabhupada makes is regarding mundane prosperity, describing it as a kind of fever, yeah, material fever. And unless we learn to reduce, Krishna helps us to reduce that material fever by making so many things happen. And there's that very important verse in the Bhagavatam that Prabhupada would quote, giving himself as an example, that actually Prabhupada, as a householder, was thinking that I will help the Gaudiya Math by developing a nice business, pharmaceutical business, and like that. Because normally householders, they help in this way. But then Prabhupada relates, Krishna took everything away, and I was forced to surrender. So that is that verse is in the Bhagavatam explaining how to show special mercy. Anyone know that verse? To show special mercy to my devotees, I take everything away from him. I take all types of material comforts and facilities. When I take everything away, because it happens very often, from the Shastric point of view, that is seen as special mercy of Krishna. Why? Because then we have no choice. We have to surrender. And if we don't, then we're not learning. So everyone is having this material fever that is being referred to here. means everyone is trying to uh, accumulate so many different things, mm, not understanding actually that the more we endeavor in this way materially, the more we become entangled. Simply because we don't have the proper knowledge or understanding that our real fulfillment in life is not through material acquisition or accumulation of whatever, but actually it is to be found on the transcendental spiritual. So this is what Narada Muni did. He, as a young boy, I mean, he had he was obviously very advanced for a 5-year-old boy. Most 5-year-old boys, they'll just cry and become whatever. So he took this opportunity because now he only had his mother. Then Krishna took away his mother. So a 5-year-old boy. I remember one time going to Badrinath. Who has been to Badrinath? You've been to Badrinath. Where is Badrinath? East, south, west? Eh? You should avoid speculating. Badrinath is north, isn't it? North.
That
Huh?
should be expected, I guess. I was thinking about that. Maybe that's still expected.
You were thinking about going to Badrinath.
No, I was thinking it's probably in the north because self-realization and everything.
Yeah, well, south is warm. The Himalayas are not in the south. Yeah, the Himalayas are in the north. So that's why he went north. That's what the Pandavas did also. When Yudhishthira Maharaj,
Is that where Vyasdev lives?
yes, yeah, yes, he has his ashram in close to Badrinath, and when Yudhishthira Maharaj, he had sent Arjuna, to Dwarka because they had not received. He wanted to get some information, how is everything in Dwarka, and of course, that's when Krishna had just wound up his pastimes, and naturally Arjuna was devastated. And when he finally came back, maybe after 6 months, then Yudhishthira Maharaj is described as in the Bhagavatam that he saw different kinds of bad omens, bad signs, and he started to to be suspicious, and he asked a whole series of questions to Arjuna. Then finally Arjuna kind of like broke down and mentioned that our Lord has gone, has returned to the spiritual world. And so there and then, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he took a stick. We see him walking with a stick. It's not a danda, but he's walking with a stick going north. North is that way. And so the Himalayas are there somewhere. We're quite a good distance from the Himalayas. And naturally, his brothers also followed, including Draupadi. Yeah. So in India, yeah, one time when I was going to Badrinath, you still see actually sadhus walking. They don't take the bus. Now you can take the bus. Now you can take a helicopter. Also, my sister came last year with my niece, and we had a program in where? Rishikesh. And then from Rishikesh, we were thinking they want, they wanted to go by helicopter. They were ready to arrange the helicopter. Um, I was I was ready to go, but I was not so inclined. And anyways, fortunately, we ended up not going because you need to make booking quite a few weeks before. It's not like you call up in the morning, have a helicopter ready. But so I was going by bus like most people, but I was seeing some sadhus, and then I saw one small boy, with like we see the picture of Sudama Vipra walking all the way to Dwarka, and he has a little stick, and he has a little bag, you know. Actually, in Montreal Temple is close to the port. There's a St. Lawrence River. There's a port. So sailors. One time I was at the temple, and the two people from Gujarat who they were sailing. So it's walking distance. Actually, the port is walking distance to the temple. They came to the temple because they're devotees, um, and so I met them, and I was talking, asking them a few questions. Then they started telling me the story of Sudama Vipra. And they were telling that, the Sudama Vipra, he was walking and he had this chipped rice and he was keeping it under his arm. And so when he finally reached Dwarka, uh, it's described that, you don't just walk up, to the king of Dwarka. So the doorman, security guard, the information was sent to Krishna. And it's described that Krishna, he ran from the palace, right? He ran up to the Nandi gate to receive his old friend Sudama Vipra. And then he brought him to the palace personally. I mean, we all know the story. He washed his feet, sat him on his throne because he understands how valuable, are brahmanas. Sudama was a brahmana. And then Sudama I'd been told by his wife, we're very poor, we don't have anything, but you have to offer something, bring some chip rice. So he did, but he didn't want to give it to Krishna. But finally, Krishna, hey, you didn't bring anything, coming all the way, and you're not bringing. Yeah, I think you have something, and he snatched it away and took that chip rice. But it was very interesting how they were recalling that story. So this is very, this is how it was. We hear stories of Narottam Das Thakur was also very young. His parents, I mean, there are many. Raghunath Das Goswami, although his parents kind of like arranged for him to get married, thinking that that'll change his mind, and he'll settle down. But no, he although he had all opulence because his father and uncle, they were big zamindars. They had so much land, so much money, but he had already developed his attraction for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And anyways, so there are many stories of. You only find this in India. Who is it? How old was Shankaracharya when he took sannyas? We have stories of, Ramanujacharya, like 12 years old. I would even 7 years old.
I'm still young.
You just imagine one day one 7-year-old sannyasi coming in, and everybody has to bow down. So self-realization is not a question of age. One can be like Narada Muni at the age of 5, due to good fortune of meeting with these sadhus. And so he took advantage. If one can grasp you know, at a young age, especially, like so many of, well, so many of Prabhupada disciples were quite young. They were like in their teenage years, some of them. I was not, I was, when I came, I was 27 or 27 years old. But some devotees, they recalled, you know, I was only 16 years old, I was 17 years old. But somehow they had that intuition, they had that understanding. Wow, you know, I mean, I'm getting this great fortune of coming in contact with a personality like Prabhupada, and with this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, you know, this is extremely, extremely rare. So I should take advantage. I don't know how long. You know, it's not only old people who die, isn't it? We we're here this morning. We don't know who's going to be sitting here tomorrow morning. So yeah. So Krishna makes all kinds of different arrangements to reduce our material fever, our material attachment, our identification with this material body, this material world. And step by step, so it's a gradual process for most, you know. We become siddha. Our goal is to, what is the meaning of siddha? Madhava. Hey Madhava. Hey Govinda. Hey Krishna. What is the meaning of siddha? Siddha. What is the meaning of Siddha Swarup? Gurukul has started.
Eternal?
Huh?
Eternal.
Huh? Eternal. Siddha means perfect. There's three kinds of siddha that are described. This lesson for this morning. Three kinds of siddha. One is those who are always in the spiritual world. What are they called? Nitya siddha. Nitya, eternally liberated. Nitya siddha. Our goal is to become Nitya siddha. But we have come in the material world, so we are Nitya Bada. So second type of siddha is how to become siddha. Sadhana. Sadhana siddha. Sadhana siddha means by attending Srimad Bhagavatam class and Mangalarti every day. That is the process, step by step. Step by step means sadhana. Sadhana, following rules and regulations, even though we don't like them. I remember meeting one, sometimes devotees, neophyte devotees, I only chant when I like to chant. Well, that's not the way to go. We don't chant only when we like to chant. And what is the third type of siddha? So Nitya siddha, eternally liberated in the spiritual world. Sadhana siddha,
Anugraha Siddha.
anu.
Anugraha Siddha. Kripa Siddha. Almost the same.
Same, right?
Yeah,
Anugraha.
Special mercy.
Special mercy, yes. So, Kripa siddha. Just like Guru Kripa. We were talking about Guru Kripa Maharaj at that time. So, special Prabhupada Kripa, special mercy. Special mercy, that kind of Kripa Siddha, I mean, to become Siddha through Kripa is very rare. Just like it is rare for somebody to get what they call somebody gets a degree. What's the by some special like somebody will be awarded a PhD sometimes. for having done something, whatever. But normally, yeah, sadhana. Okay, we can read one more verse, I think.
Can I ask something?
Oh, yes, yes.
So, this mercy is given by Krishna, but also kind of mercy if someone understands that is the mercy. So, where is this voice telling the boy, okay, that means no, you have to go and don't consider any material consideration. Just go.
Yeah.
So where is coming from? It's a pushing of Krishna, or it's just a chance in our mind? So it's our decision, or it's Krishna's hidden pushings. How it's happening?
Well, in this particular, how it happened in the case of Narada Muni, or I guess how it happens in other cases also. In the case of Narada Muni, we know that he got very special mercy from the sadhus, isn't it? Before leaving, we were reading a few days back, before the sadhus left, they gave him confidential knowledge, and he took that very seriously. And after some time, while living with his mother, that's when this incident happened of his mother being bitten by a snake. So it means it's a combination of the mercy that he received by the sadhus, and of course Krishna within the heart also. So Krishna, as Paramatma, as Super Soul, is also directing, isn't it, the wanderings of all living entities. Sarvasya chaham ridi sanivisto mata smriti jnanam apohanam. So Krishna as Cheta Guru and the sadhus. So like this, Krishna is directing sometimes personally. In one lecture, Prabhupada mentions about it is due to the double mercy of Krishna and also of Guru. So Narada Muni had different Shiksha Gurus or Diksha Gurus. Well, he received knowledge from these saintly persons. So sometimes it may happen just directly due to Krishna, or sometimes more under the influence of sadhus, or a combination of both. In this case, it's obvious that he had received the good fortune of association with the sadhus, and shortly after that, he so he was cultivating, keeping that knowledge he had received, cultivating that knowledge. And so when this difficult moment in life happened, see, that's the thing, huh? It's like somebody who's driving. If somebody has nicely been trained, so if something kind of danger or something, he will be expert enough to avoid that danger. He'll know how to deal with it. Similarly, the more we are trained in transcendental knowledge, the more we are realized, then we can face different situations more easily. We can make the right decisions. Like in this case, Narada Muni decided, he was strong enough, he was realized enough to make this very big decision at such tender age of just heading towards the Himalayas. And then that will be the wonderful thing. I mean, that's what he's sharing now with Vyasadeva. That's something very wonderful, very rare, very rare happened to me. Just like sometimes devotees get some dream. I mean, different devotees, either Krishna reveals himself or the spiritual master may many stories of in the Bhagavatam. I mean, Madhavendra Puri in dream, Krishna spoke to him, isn't it? Appeared to him more than once, also. So Krishna will. Prabhupada mentions he was describing the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Prabhupada said the Goswamis in Vrindavan, they were talking with their deities. You can talk with your deities. Like we're talking now, they were talking with their deities. They were in a very elevated frame of mind, of course, totally surrendered, etc. I was trying to think if anyone ever calculated how many years the Goswamis in Vrindavan, altogether, how many years they spent in Vrindavan. Because some, like Rupa and Sanatan, they went to Vrindavan, they were already elderly. But yeah, Jiva Goswami went to Vrindavan.
He lived more than 100 years.
Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami. So it'd be interesting to know. It's like, because I was just a rough calculation, maybe 200 years. If you put together all the years that they spent to study and to share, so it's like just from the Goswamis we have like 200 years approximately of very serious study of the Shastra, that is, and then other acharyas, of course. That's very, very unique. I mean, very special. Anything else? Madhava? No? Okay. So we can close for now. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki, Gaura Pimanandi.